I want to move on to Gabor Maté, and Dr. Gabor Maté has really been a pivotal part of London Real since the very beginning. We featured him in our last documentary feature film, Iron Mind, last year when he was talking about me and my traumas. And he's back in this film as well, Reconnect, so we're super excited to have Gabor Maté in the room. Gabor Maté has worked on the streets of Vancouver with some very serious addicts and understands the concept of trauma and how that reflects into addiction. And here's Gabor Maté talking about this concept that we live in a traumatized society, and that causes society to act in a way that gets us to where we are today.
Trauma isn't what happens to you. Trauma is what happens inside you. And the primary aspect of trauma is that the person who's traumatized is alone with their difficult emotions. So your parents could have had the divorce, but had you not been alone with how you felt, you would not have been traumatized.
Okay.
But the fact is there was nobody for you to talk to about it.
Okay.
By that time you learned that you're alone in this world.
Right.
That's what causes the trauma. We live in a culture, we live in a society, and that has an impact on us. So it's not an individual question, it's a social and political economic question. What we have here is a system in deep crisis, where inequality is rising, as you know, the environment is being degraded, all in the name of profit. We live in a system that, for the sake of its survival, is willing to destroy its very grounds for survival. That's just the reality of it, which on the social level manifests the ego gone rampant. Because the ego just wants to aggrandize itself. Sure, I'm saying this culture has gone insane. This is a highly traumatized society, and so it's difficult in this highly traumatized world to raise children who are not traumatized.
Right.
It's difficult, it's a real challenge. But I'm saying this is the world that we're living in, so this is the world in which there's even more need for self-examination.
Always love hearing from Dr. Gabor Maté, and he really puts this in perspective, because if our society is traumatized, we're going to behave in really disconnected ways from our environment and from each other. But again, it all comes down to the individual. So if we can find a way of releasing our individual trauma, we believe that's the way that we can reduce this trauma of the society. And that's a lot what this latest movie called Reconnect has to do. And so that's why we're super excited to premiere it on December 5th here in London.
At London Real, we believe that individual transformation can change the world. Join us and start your journey today.